We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 445. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week, as always, the current reigning and defending
Currently
Schol-
defending, yes.
Yep.
Scholars of Wrestling world champion and OG undisputed scholar himself. He is Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how's your life treating you, sir?
Life is treating me well. And yes, it is defending. The title is on the line for WWE Crown Jewel. It's pay-per-view number 3. I kind of have no choice in the matter. So I had to find some way to make it interesting. And when you know it, triple threat. Triple threat against very worthy contenders.
And with that being said, let's go down the line and see who the other contenders are. First up, the other undisputed scholar in his own right. He is Scholar Brian. Scholar Brian, are you ready for the challenge tonight?
Here's the problem with being considered a worthy competitor. I was talking to Scholar Tarek earlier today. I completely forgot that I was challenging for the title today. So
You're just so bored with your victories and success. Oh, poor
Oh
you.
no,
Poor
that's the best
you.
part. He didn't even know. It was just like trying to discuss like strategy with his predictions, and it's like, oh wait, I had to remind him. Yeah, this is pay-per-view number 3. Titles on the line, triple threat. Well, I'm gonna shut the hell up now.
and it's the. I could go and say that as undisputed scholars, his victories are my victories and vice versa. But no, I kind of want that title back.
Ooh.
And there it is.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah.
Let's try.
And
you guys take it as just hardcore trash talking, but it's just like, okay, yeah, you want the belt. Okay, if you win it, you win it. But hey, it's still the undisputed fact that the championship will still remain with the undisputed scholars. And I will say, if I actually successfully defend the title at this pay-per-view, Jeff, I want your now introduction for me to be the caption down at the bottom, the OG undisputed champion.
Yeah, and I want Toilet Man a solid gold, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I'll
tell you what is going to happen. I'm going to introduce the third contender for tonight. Last but certainly not least, the eternal holder of the Scholars in the Bank briefcase. You know him, you love him. He's Scholar Charlie. I wish I had more to say, but hola, here he is.
Prior to Tarek's blatant remarks about how I'm an afterthought in all of this, I was feeling sort of beefy. But now I'm feeling completely beefy, and I am willing to go to hell and back come Saturday morning.
He's feeling super beefy.
If you feel super beefy, why don't you go ahead and just cash in
No!
the briefcase now to add an extra point to have your advantage over me and Brian?
Absolutely
You're so
not.
confident.
Absolutely
If you're so confident in your beefiness,
I am strategic with my beefiness.
Are you?
Gentlemen, if everyone's so eager to get to blows here, let's just dive right in and get to our predictions so we can put our money where the mouth is.
My voice is completely shot.
It's okay. All we need is your predictions because
there was some squeaky go with your beefy there.
That's what happens when you get too beefy. These are the predictions for WWE Crown Jewel 2023. Starting, of course, with the match on the pre-show, Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. And Tarek, as the defending champion, you can either make the first pick or you can defer to the next person in line. What are you doing?
Why would I not take the first pick with this one? It's just a pre-show match.
It's the champion's privilege. Go for it.
Got to go with Sami Zayn.
Okay.
It's a pre-show. It's a buy-in. What better way to get a buy-in thing? Well, I guess it's a buy-in for Peacock, I guess, since you're not actually buying the pay-per-view like what AEW does.
It's pre-show.
It's pre-show. It's that appetizer just to make the audience feel good, and what better way to make the audience feel good? All ready for the main course, which is Crown Jewel, with Sami Zayn taking a big victory. He's pretty much like the new Mansoor when it comes to Saudi Arabia shows.
And Brian, you're up next. Who do you got between JD McDonough and Sami Zayn?
Did I say Mansoor?
Yeah, you don't cut you don't cut the promo of your life and then lose in the pre-show. It's Sami Zayn all day, every day. Okay. JD McDonough is the Judgment Day's loser. You put him in a match to lose so the Judgment Day doesn't have to.
Way to think about it. JD is pretty much the honorary Uce of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly feel kind of bad for JD McDonough. Like, I feel like he hasn't really gotten his time to shine just yet. But yeah, I'm gonna make it a third. Sami is very clearly going to win this one, in my opinion. With that being said, Charlie, do we have an accord?
For Sami Zayn's.
For Sami, I'm seeing double. 4 Samis.
It's like 4 Sami Zayns. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun.
At 4 times the volume. Now it's back to the card at large, the show proper. And first off on the run sheet, I've got Io Sky defending her WWE Women's Championship against the returning Bianca Belair. Ryan, it's your first pick up first. What do you got?
Of course. This one was pretty hard for me to begin with because it's like Bianca Belair took 2 months off after a beatdown. It's a comeback. And it's also Bianca Belair, who might as well be Charlotte Flair at this point for pay-per-views. But I know she's going to win the title at some point because they're going to start setting up for Belair versus Charlotte. I don't think they're going to do it in Saudi Arabia. I think they're going to wait for a different time. I think Io Sky gets a bullshit victory. Io Sky retains.
Interesting. You know what? I was actually going back and forth on this one. I honestly think this one could go either way, depending on what kind of plans they've got for both women in the future. But you know what? Your case gave me just enough confidence that tells me, you know what? Maybe I'm not that crazy. I'm also going to go with Io Sky, but not by much. I like Io. I'm a fan of Io. But someone on the team is clearly a fan of Io, and I'm here for it. I'm not ready to see Bianca on top and uncontested again. I'm just not there yet. Charlie, you're up next. Who do you got?
Io Sky, absolutely. Shenanigans from Damage Control, pulling the win.
All right, and Tarek, it's up to you. Do we have an accord?
Bianca wins, LOL.
All right.
Because we're pretty much repeating the same story of can Bianca Belair overcome Damage Control? But there's a problem with that. She's already overcome Damage Control over and 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 over again.
However, she has never gone up against Damage Control with Io Sky as the person she's going up against.
That is fair. But I'm having fun with this prediction show. I'm going balls to the wall insane. I'll go Bianca wins, LOL.
Very interesting.
It's got to be his new Charlotte wins, LOL.
Oh gosh.
I sure hope not.
Hey, this is all just build up to get that Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair at Mania.
Yeah, it's like we know that's coming. I just don't want the build to that to start happening yet.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of build, next match on the card, we've got John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. And it looks like it's my pickup first. And I'm going to be honest. I really want Solo to win this one. I know you could make the case that Cena has a win coming, but I'm not so sure. I just don't think Solo is the one to do it, for one. And for number two, you really can't set up something too far in advance with Cena, because it feels like the writers and actors strike, the Screen Actors Guild strike, could end at any moment. I think it's going to end pretty soon. I think Cena, frankly, is looking ahead to that right now. So you got to keep Solo looking strong. He's one of the few remaining members of the Bloodline storyline, and it's just not time for him to lose right now. I'm going to go with Solo. Charlie, your pick up next. Who do you got?
Listen, if Cena isn't putting over young talent, he's not doing the right thing. Solo Sikoa is winning this one.
All right. Once again, I don't feel too crazy after all. Tarek, change that for me, please.
I will not. I will also go with Solo for the win.
How dare you agree with me? Brian, what do you got?
I think it's more on the line of Paul Heyman pulling in the prediction. It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And he hasn't been proven wrong yet when he pulls that card. So that's the frame of mind I'm going on with this one.
Makes sense.
Oh, get out of here with your logic. Brian, say something stupid.
I will. My turn for the LOL. Because I'm going based off of the build for this match. Okay, I understand about the Screen Actors Guild strike. I understand about the Paul Heyman. This isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler. But if they hadn't have brought up the fact that he hadn't won a singles match in 5 years. Okay, that's booking red flag 101 over here. They put that whole thing. The minute they said that, I was on the Solo Sikoa train. I was on the he can't lose right now. But then I think about it, and I think about what I've got going for the rest of this card, and was like, you need some match where the crowd goes home happy with who won that match. I don't have a lot of that on this card. And based off of the way they're telling the story about John Cena not having won a singles match in 5 years, it doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility for me. This isn't a troll comment. Okay, this isn't a troll pick, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say John Cena gets one here, and then before he leaves, Solo Sikoa can kill him at a different time, because this ends with the writer strike ending, with the Screen Actors Guild strike ending, and Solo Sikoa killing John Cena at some point, whenever that is. Okay, if the strike doesn't end immediately, there's still legs that you can use there. Okay, and if it was a pay-per-view in the States, I would be like, have Solo Sikoa win. But it's a Saudi show. And most of the time, these are treated as house show kind of deals. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to see John Cena win. And that's what I'm going with.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I do like the one thing that really fascinates me with this build is with what you said. He hasn't won the singles match. The crowd is chanting, "You still got it," and his response is, "What if I don't?" That's a very intriguing idea to shows like, what if I don't have what I used to have back in the day, the Super Cena? And I think it would actually be a really good direction to have their first match be where Solo does end up beating him because Cena may not have what he has before, but he just rebuilds that to possibly the rematch at WrestleMania. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's also an issue that we have to take into account that he said once the strike ends, he's out. And it's gonna end before Mania. It is. So it's like you kind of have to fast track it
Not
at this
necessarily,
point.
not necessarily, because I mean, he had a yes, a bullshit one, but he did have a match before the strike happened at last year's WrestleMania. So it's not out of the full. It's like that is not like that full of a crutch to lean on. I think once it's over, bye bye. It would just be a pretty good send off to send him back to Hollywood with a nice WrestleMania victory of conquering someone that conquered him before.
Stop making sense, you people. Come on.
That's why we're undisputed, fool.
Moving on. We got some Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest to look forward to. Speaking of esteemed gentlemen who carry around beef cases and briefcases and the like.
Fitting.
Charlie, it's your pickup first. Who you got between Cody and Damian Priest?
Now, on one hand, Damian Priest hasn't had the Money in the Bank curse. He's been doing pretty well with the beefcase. But on the other hand, it's Cody Rhodes. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes because he's my secondary wrestling boyfriend aside from Edge.
Delightful. Tarek, who do you got?
Cody Rhodes to win. LOL.
Brian, is there a trend forming here?
Cody Rhodes doesn't lose unless a limb is broken. So therefore, Cody Rhodes wins. And I don't know, based off of how briefcase holders normally work, they lose. If this happens at the beginning of the show, expect a little something something.
Yep.
Later on.
Yep.
But yeah, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes hasn't lost other than to Roman Reigns a singles match unless he's had a limb quote unquote broken. Okay, there's not going to be any limbs broken here. Cody Rhodes isn't losing until Mania.
Damn.
He's not losing a match in the build up
it.
to Mania. Not happening.
My rival spitting some facts.
Yeah, it's too much for me to argue against. I'm also going to go with Cody. We do indeed have an accord. Though the situation regarding Senior Money in the Bank is still a little suspect, as is the Scholars in the Bank beefcase. So we'll certainly see what happens there. But before we get to all that, we've got the next title match on the card. We've got Rey Mysterio defending his U.S. title against Logan Paul. Tarek, tell us something.
I'm going to tell you something, and it's going to be a big something. Logan Paul is winning the United States Championship. And I think, okay, before I make this prediction that I've told Brian already.
Oh God.
This is something I recently watched the episode with you three guys. Specifically with yours, Fool, and Brian's back and forth about LA Knight. I haven't seen you guys go back and forth like that in a long time. It sucks that I missed it. But I think it is Logan Paul is going to win the United States Championship to set up a future WrestleMania match for said championship against LA Knight. And I guess that's just a spoiler for what my prediction for later in the show is going to be. But that's my WrestleMania match to continue with what you guys were talking about. Where does he go at Mania? That's where I think he's going to go.
Interesting. Brian, which way are you going on this one?
You thought triple threat? Jesus, fool.
I don't even know what I had for breakfast this morning. I don't even remember what the hell I
You
said.
were
All I say is words.
You were definitely on the arguing side. It's like LA Knight could be in a triple threat match with Cody and Roman at WrestleMania, and I'm just thinking,
Oh yeah, that thing.
and my response was just
oh yeah,
was with Brian and Charlie, and I just yelled, "Nope, absolutely not."
Just watch.
No, I'm gonna watch it. We're getting that one-on-one.
I'm gonna watch and be pissed off for LA Knight if he's in that match. However, going off of the predictions that we're doing right now, yeah, agreed. Logan Paul to win the United States Championship. I Rey Mysterio holding that thing has run its course, and Logan Paul can build that title up in his douchebagginess to actually make a match with LA Knight at WrestleMania a big deal, with him overcoming the douchebag tactics of Logan Paul, douchebag extraordinaire. So I agree. Logan Paul's going to win the United States title, and he's gonna have a good time with it afterwards, whether we like it or not. That's it.
I am also going with Logan Paul. The writing's on the wall for that. I mostly just because the timing is right, and I'm bored with it on Rey Mysterio at this point. I don't believe it's going to be LA Knight versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I think someone else is going to face Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I think there's something very different is going to happen with LA Knight. Not necessarily a triple threat, but something different. But the real question is, Charlie, do we have an accord?
Logan Paul for Logan Paul reasons. Come on now, it's me.
The way he's been acting on video while each of us have been making our picks has made this very obvious.
I'm like Kermit over here.
I like energy drinks. Yay! Anywho. Moving on, we've got our next match on the card. We've got a women's world championship being defended in a fatal 5-way. We've got Rhea Ripley defending her title against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez. I believe it's Brian's pick up next. Who do you got for taking the women's world championship?
Yeah. It's the main character of Monday Night Raw versus 4 people who have no shot. Rhea Ripley, in the most obvious pick of all time. That's it.
I'll tell you what, I like most of these ladies, but I know you're playing me, but you're right. It is going to be Rhea Ripley. I just wish it weren't so. I would really love to see, especially Zoe Stark, do something. I like her. Shayna, outside chance. Nia Jax, no thank you. And Raquel Rodriguez, stop smiling, damn it.
I will say this, okay? If it was a singles match, if it was a one-on-one or maybe a triple threat, then I'd give more thought to the other competitors. There's 5 people in this match. Nuh-uh. Main character's winning. Sorry.
Charlie, your pick up next. What do you think?
Rhea Ripley's winning.
And Tarek, do we have an accord on Ripley?
I will tell you one thing, Jeff. Zoe Stark is going to do something in this match. She's going to be the one to take the pin. Again, with Rhea Ripley pinning her.
Oh, my heart. Oh, no. You got
Rhea
me.
Rhea Ripley is winning. She is pinning Zoe Stark. She is in this match to take the pin.
And with that, we are going to our penultimate match, which, according to the list in front of me, is Roman Reigns defending the WWE Championship against LA Knight, and it looks to be my pick up first. And I'm going to just say it.
You gotta do it.
Say,
no, he's not.
He's not going to do it.
I'm going to say LA Knight is losing. I wish it weren't so. I wish it weren't
Thank the
so.
Lord.
You see this face right here, fool? You see this face? This is a not surprised because you were a very easy book to read there, man. So clear. You're just making it so obvious.
I was trying
you know me too well.
You complex character, you.
You just know me too well,
You're just so full of in-depth character there in building on that match. You really think L.A. Knight, is going to win the WWE Championship? No.
There are reasons why I don't play poker in life. Charlie, what do you think?
Roman Reigns is winning.
That is 2 for Roman. I know the way this is going, but I don't like it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Tarek. Question mark.
Roman Reigns is not losing that championship unless it's a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. And since this is not WrestleMania, it is not happening. LA Knight, he's not winning this match. I actually am. When they announced that he was going to be in this match, I was more disappointed than anything else, because my initial response is you can't put him in this match because he's just going to lose. And he's not in a position to actually be taking a big pin like this, because I think it won't halt his momentum, but it's definitely going to just be a quick it's going to be a bump in the road for his momentum that he really shouldn't need. And I think Brian said it in the episode where I wasn't here, that they have to pull so much shenanigans in order for LA Knight to lose. Charlie said that too. Yeah, that they have to be so much shenanigans that LA Knight losing has to have, like, it can't be clean at all. It has to be the dirtiest, like, ew, get that slop out of my face dirty type of win.
That is very, very dirty.
Oh my.
Oh my. I got no other way to round that one out. But anyway, enough of that tomfoolery. We've got the final match on the card.
Hold on,
Objection.
buddy. I didn't make my pick yet.
Do you need to even say?
Night, yeah.
Nah.
Say anything?
But I will say this so that Jeff can be a happy boy. Okay, they obviously think enough of LA Knight to give him this test, and that's what it is. Everybody knows this guy is losing. They are giving him a test to see if he works in a main event slot, and then after this, they're going to see if he can maintain those crowd reactions that he's getting now. This is the test to see if he works in a main event slot against the biggest name in the company. Okay, and this has been brought about in the last 3 months, basically, since he's got in the ring. So just be happy. Just be happy he's actually in this spot, even if he is guaranteed to lose. But I
will give it this like, the build that they've been having is very, very well done, especially with that contract signing last week. With him cutting off Roman's music and sitting at the head of the table, pulling the suffering succotash line at Roman.
But yeah, this needs to be Drew McIntyre Clash of the Champions level of shenanigans.
Yeah.
At this point.
And I will say, honestly, in all seriousness, that is all I can ask for. Like, just a spot on the card that matches LA Knight's level of current hype right now. And speaking of that, we are talking about the final match on the card. Finally, we've got Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I believe, Charlie, it's your pick up next. Final match of the night. Which way you going?
Say what you will about Seth Rollins. I know he's not everybody's favorite right now. He's a two-time PWI 500 #1. I happen to think he's doing well this reign. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins.
All right. Tarek, it's your pick up next. What do you got?
I'm trying to look at this as which way do they want to go with this match. So many different possibilities, and I'm trying to think, where does the person who wins this match go from here? And every inch of my being is saying that they're going to give Drew McIntyre this title win to solidify him staying with the company, like renewing his contract. As a potential, like, Seth, someone to fill in that spot for Seth when he takes his break to act for his actual back injury. With that being said, I don't know if this is the right time for Drew to win it when you got the possibility of a cash in happening. Like, I mean, it is possible that they just may have Drew have his moment. He finally gets his moment to get a championship win in front of a crowd, and then have it taken away from him, and to be someone to have us gain some real sympathy for him. But they seem to be real in line for this slow burn heel turn that they're doing with him. So I'm going to pick Seth Rollins to retain. I don't want to pick Seth Rollins because I think Drew is the much more complex character in this. And I honestly, with the video package that they had on Raw, and then his response is just boo hoo hoo, it makes me just think, wow, fuck you, Seth. I want you to lose even more now. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Seth to retain, because I feel like with how since he's pretty much one of Triple H's top guys, I feel like he's in another contendership to possibly lose his title at Mania.
Interesting. Brian, which way you going on this one?
See, we're talking about Seth Rollins going on a break. There is a potential other way for him to go on a break where here's the deal. I've got Seth Rollins to retain. Okay, we're talking about a slow burn heel turn that's not going to be a slow burn anymore, because I've got, after this match, Drew finally losing his shit and just beating the crap out of Seth Rollins, leaving the door open for Mr. Damian Priest to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and destroy Seth Rollins even more, which in turn will allow Seth Rollins to go on his break.
Question.
We have Damian Priest as champion, and we have pissed off Drew McIntyre, who's at some point gonna have to go after Jey Uso and then just destroy everybody. I've got Drew McIntyre turning heel after this match, leaving the door open for Damian Priest cash in, and I don't think Drew McIntyre winning the title here makes sense. As much as I like Drew, the best way for him to lose his shit and continue, and even if you don't do the heel turn tonight at the Saudi show, okay, him winning the title at this point it doesn't work for me in his build to turning heel. He's got to lose everything and then lose his shit and then become the bad guy.
Did we get a question somewhere?
Yeah. Do I have to proclaim now that I'm using my cash-in card?
You can.
I'm not cashing in my briefcase, my cash-in card.
Yes, you're saying that you're declaring that there's going to be a cash in.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to play your cash in card.
Yes.
All right. In card. All right, it's officially on the scoreboard, and with that, speaking of cash ins, my final pick, I'm also going to go with Seth, but I'm going to take it one step further. I'm also going to think that this is an optimal time for Damian Priest to cash in at the end of the match. But also, I think there's a good chance that by the time WrestleMania comes around, I think LA Knight is going to go after whoever the holder of the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be. Whether it's probably not going to be Seth at that point. Maybe it'll be Damian Priest. Maybe it'll be Drew McIntyre getting a return shot. I don't know. But whoever it is, I think that is going to be the person that LA Knight's going to go after.
So you're saying he's going to win the Rumble?
I'm saying it's a possibility.
That's the only way it can happen.
To move over to Raw.
Yeah, that's the only way that can happen. If he wins the Rumble.
Well, then there you have it. It's a possibility.
Oh, there's only one person winning that Rumble.
I will allow that possibility if it gets me out of you thinking that there's got to be a triple threat match.
All I'm suggesting, the only thing I've ever been suggesting, is that LA Knight deserves a place on the card and a position and a match, whatever you want to call it. LA Knight deserves to be placed in a position that is befitting his current level of overness. That's it.
And I actually think that's him winning the United States title.
Oh, he is way beyond.
Against Logan Paul, who's going to be the
winning
biggest
against
heel in
Logan
the company
Paul
at that point.
They can put up anybody against Logan Paul. Anyone can be elevated by Logan Paul, except for LA Knight, who's already there. That's just LA Knight.
But the thing that they already have the history that they can continue on. They've already had back and forths. They were a big set. They were a credential thing at the Money in the Bank, so they can just bring that back, and it actually really befits the characters, both of them. So I think it actually works wonders, and because it's Logan Paul being a big the big celebrity, both guys have challenged Roman Reigns for the championship. I think it actually does well for the United States Championship, and I think giving him that kind of title win at WrestleMania would actually do big wonders for him.
I'm sorry, I could not disagree more. It'd do more to elevate the U.S. title, to be sure, but I really don't think it would be helping out LA Knight as much, just because he's already there.
Giving him a title win, yeah.
Giving him a U.S. championship win, that doesn't really seem to be. Let's face it, U.S. championship right now is not the most prestigious title there. And I think LA Knight by far has already eclipsed that.
He's not getting a world title shot in either the world title or the WWE title. He's not getting a title match. I just don't see him getting a title match.
Okay, then the Intercontinental Championship then.
That he would have to go to
can't
Raw.
Hold it forever.
He would have to go to Raw.
LA Knight's not ending Gunther's reign.
I didn't say he was going to end Gunther's reign. I'm saying he could win the Intercontinental title now that Gunther has elevated it. Both of those would be way better than the U.S. Championship, in my opinion.
I think he would actually I think it would actually help him kind of bring back the open challenge and just have him face so many different people. I think winning the US title would be great for him, to be honest. If they're not going to give it, he's not, I love LA Knight. Yeah, I am a huge LA Knight fan, but I seriously don't think they're going to put him in any world title picture. They have plenty of other people who could possibly go for those world titles. But I
If
don't
that
think LA
is
Knight's
true,
one of them.
if that is true, would at the very least, can we all admit that LA Knight versus Gunther is a money match?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a
Oh,
money
it
match.
could be, yeah. If
I'm
they
sorry,
find
what
a
was
way to
that?
actually make it happen, yeah.
And if he was
Yeah.
and if he was still Intercontinental Champion, I'd say find a way to make that happen. But I don't think Gunther's going to be Intercontinental Champion too much longer because he's already got the record. He's going to lose it to Chad Gable whenever they decide to do that again. So I'm not going to 100% back Tarek in his United States title thing, but I see that more than I see world heavyweight title or WW or undisputed title, only because of the fact that you give Logan Paul 5 months with that title, and the people are going to want to see him lose it.
Yep.
Okay. And who's the person they most want to see that isn't Cody Rhodes or whoever's going for the world heavyweight title? LA Knight. So Logan Paul is going to be the number 2 heel in the company by that point, if he isn't already. So if the number 1 face is going after the number 1 heel, you have the number 2 face going after the number 2 heel. And that would be where LA Knight would fit if they went that route.
Let me talk to you. Jeff, who became US champion at WrestleMania 20?
That would, I believe, be John Cena.
Yes. And did it skyrocket Cena's career?
I'm going to say no. I didn't skyrocket his career. It was more of a stepping stone upward.
Yeah, did it start his success?
Once again, I'm going to say no, because at that point, I remember being in that crowd. I remember feeling the vibe. I remember the hype at the time. This was right after his ascent was really starting to kick off, right as it was really getting over and really starting to hit his stride. It seemed for Cena at that time, it felt like the next logical progression.
Okay.
In my opinion, again, I could be totally wrong on this. This is very subjective. But in my opinion, given how ridiculously over LA Knight is compared to so many other acts on the card, I am genuinely getting the impression that if LA Knight were to become US champion, it would do more for the title itself than the title would do for him. Does that make sense?
If that's how you feel, yeah.
Hey,
I just feel
to be fair,
yeah.
To be fair, there's so many different ways that this can go. Right now, I'm just loving all the different ways that this could possibly go. It's a good kind of disagreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just my whole thing is you do the number 1 babyface with the number 1 heel. That's going to be Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I believe we all agree on that. Okay. Yeah. At that point, you let Logan Paul be a complete douchebag with the United States title for 5 months. Okay, that's going to elevate the United States title already. Because Logan Paul being a douchebag in the main part of the card for 5 months, that's a way to get that belt over. Big time. Okay. So he's going to be the number 2 heel. You're going to want to put the number 2 babyface up against that guy. It's going to be a main match on the card. So that's why I'm okay at that point with LA Knight, because it's number 2 heel versus number 2 face. It's not even about the title for me at that point. It's going to be a money match on the card because that's how you look at it. Number 2 heel, number 2 face. Boom. There you go. And that's the way I'm taking it. It's a money match on the card just by who's involved.
True enough. But I don't know. I'm still very much just like I cannot commit to that all the way. You very well might be right.
We're up in the air about the world heavyweight title and all that. We don't know what's going on with that yet. So it's like I can't form an opinion about the world heavyweight title match. But when we've already got Cody and Roman, based on Tarek's thought, maybe have Cena versus Sikoa. Because my second thought would have been LA Knight versus Sikoa.
Okay.
I don't know. Considering we already had that as a TV match. I don't know if that's able to elevate to the point where at least storyline wise, to where he's this one, it would be like a WrestleMania caliber match.
But here's the one thing we can take away from this. Okay. In the base of a year, okay, we weren't even talking about LA Knight last year. We were like, who is this guy last year? Oh. And this year we're talking about which money match could he be in at WrestleMania when there's so many money matches he can have. So it's like it's a good discussion to have. It tells you how LA Knight has progressed over the year. So that's a good point. The only reason I fought so hard against the triple threat match is, yeah, he's in it and that's cool, but he's a body and he's not going to be involved in anything that has to do with the finish of the match. So there's no point in him being there.
I think it's all going to come down to the build after the Royal Rumble. But again, we're going to have to agree to disagree at this point. We'll obviously see how it all progresses.
I don't like the idea of him being a third wheel.
Fair enough. Speaking of WrestleMania 20, I think if it's done right, there is a chance where he won't feel like the third wheel. But again, that's just my opinion. We're going to agree to disagree. And as you back at home have all clearly heard by now, those are our perspectives. But now we want to hear what you think. Who do you think is going to walk away with a win here, both on the Scholar side and on the WWE side? Are there going to be cash-ins? Whatever you think, let us know all across the internet, YouTube comments, Facebook posts, social media up the wing wong, including the Twitter machines. Tarek, where can he reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
And Brian, where can he reach you?
You can reach me at Atomic Beanpole.
And Charlie, where can he reach you?
You can reach me at Charlie.
And you can reach me just watching all the chaos that these three bring to the table at I'm Robbie Rage. Join in the conversation, and for all of these relevant social media links and much more, check us out in the link in the description below. That's Linktree/Scholars of Wrestling. And with that, that is our show for this week. And we've got to get ready for this year's Crown Jewel. And we're going to be paying close attention beef case or not, because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
See you all at Crown Jewel.